Welcome back. I'm Melissa Pineda, and today I will be discussing the book Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life by Brian Tracy. So this book was published in 2014, and this is such an incredible read. It has some life-changing information in it. If there's anything you hear that you like, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. But let me jump right in and tell you just like the top couple things that you're going to get from reading this book and from my review. So Brian Tracy says that the most important mental and spiritual principle ever discovered is you become what you think about most of the time. So your outer world is very much a mirror of your inner world. What is going on outside of you is a reflection of what is going on inside of you. So just think about it like if you're constantly thinking about how terrible life is, how you've been wronged, you're going to become that person. You're going to become that embittered, angry person. But if you are constantly thinking about how awesome you are, how great life is, how you're going to accomplish your goals, like you just think positively, you're also going to become that person. Your mind is so powerful. Thoughts control and determine almost everything that happens to you. They actually change the chemical composition of your blood. They keep you up at night. They interfere with your digestion. They affect your heart rate, etc., etc. Your mind and what you choose to think about greatly influences you as a person. So you can control your thoughts, but what you think about ends up kind of controlling you. Only you can decide what to think, Brian Tracy says. Therefore, you have the ability to take complete control over your life. No one can tell you what to think. So, I mean, it's just you. You need to question your beliefs, he says. Whatever you believe with conviction becomes your reality. So all of your beliefs are learned. And Tracy says that we always act in accordance with the beliefs we hold. So he also talks about the law of attraction. He says that you are a living magnet and attract into your life the people, ideas, and circumstances that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts. Brian Tracy also says that the more you like yourself, the less you fear failure, and the less you fear criticism, and the less you care about what other people think or say. So basically, control your inner dialogue. You become what you say to yourself. The most important thing you can say to yourself, especially if you're feeling down or feeling tense or uneasy, are the words, I like myself. So you need to repeat this. These words are so powerful that they're immediately accepted by your subconscious mind as a command and directly impacts your actions, feelings, and attitude. Your fears diminish and your courage increases. It completely changes your demeanor. Just say, I like myself. Tell yourself, I like myself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Repeat this like 20 times, and you will start to not only like yourself, but to change like the way you think, the way you feel. Brian Tracy also says that it's not what happens to you in life that's important. It's only how you react to it that matters. So it doesn't matter where you came from, it only matters where you're going. And because where you're going is limited only by your own imagination, and since your imagination is unlimited, so is your future. So these are the basic premises and beliefs you need to fulfill your potential. A self-limiting belief is I'm not good enough, for instance. So you need to just change your internal dialogue, your self-talk is essentially what Tracy is saying. Talk to yourself positively. Self-talk, inner dialogue determines 95% of your emotions. So when you talk to yourself, your subconscious mind accepts these words as commands and adjusts your behavior, self-image, and body language to fit a pattern consistent with those words. So only speak positively to yourself. Don't say anything about yourself unless you positively desire it to be true. Repeat, I can do it, and I like myself before any event or any conference or any work thing or any like date you have. Just repeat, I can do it. I like myself. The feeling of not deserving good things is another self-limiting belief. This is known as the imposter syndrome. You feel guilt and you self-sabotage. A lot of people in this position end up wasting money, doing drugs, things like that. yeah, Brian Tracy is just saying that that's just another facet of a self-limiting belief. I don't know if you've ever felt that way. I can definitely relate to that. When I got my doctorate, I still kind of feel like that, and I'm fighting that urge to feel like an imposter, like you just somehow managed to slip in there and get the degree or accomplish the goal. It's like, no, like, you did it, but at the same time, you still feel like maybe you didn't deserve it, or maybe you slipped under the radar or something. I don't know if you can relate, but I could relate to this. Anyway, Brian Tracy also says, eliminate all negative emotions from your life. Just stop justifying your anger and unhappiness. So refuse to engage in it. Negative emotions are totally destructive, and they only hurt you. Brian Tracy says that your mind can only hold one thought at a time, so make it a good one. Make excuses for the other person until the anger goes away is something else he says. So if someone else cuts you off in traffic, for instance, or someone's rude to you, make excuses for them. They're having a bad day, they're late for something important, etc. Just keep doing this, he says, until your anger dissipates. He says also that one of the most important rules for success and happiness is don't get upset or worried about something you can't do anything about. So don't criticize anyone for something the person can't actually change. This goes for family members as well. If there's no solution, then there's no problem. That's what he says. So, I mean, that's a good way to just kind of get rid of the problem. Like, if you actually can't resolve it, what's the point in obsessing over it and trying to solve something that can't be solved? Eliminate all the if-onlys from your life. Brian Tracy also says that you should reinterpret past events. It's never too late to have a happy childhood. I don't know about this one. I mean, I think he's amazing for suggesting this and probably doing it himself. But basically what he says is, for people that have hurt you in the past, be grateful to them for making you stronger and wiser. That's hard. He says it's silly to be unhappy about the way your parents raised you. They did the best they could with what they have. I do believe that, but I mean, it really depends what circumstances you were raised in and what you experienced as well. I get what he's saying, though. The people that raised you were flawed and could not have raised you any other way than what they did. It doesn't mean what, they may have done was right, but they were incapable of doing otherwise. So he says, just let it go and get on with your life. It's the whole idea of, forgiving someone for you and not for them. So that's where he's kind of coming from as well. Brian Tracy also says to practice the law of substitution. So look into past events for something good. Don't take it personally. Separate yourself emotionally from the situation. Practice detachment from whatever makes you upset. So discipline yourself to actually take a step back and deal with the problem intelligently. He says be objective when you try to solve the problem. Stop worrying about what others think about you. People are too concerned about themselves to even think of you most of the time. So when we're thinking about, like, ooh, that conversation I had and that was awkward, and why did I say that? Like, the person we were speaking to already forgot all about it. Brian Tracy also says that you need to come up with a plan of action, and he has 7 steps for this. So 1, decide to be a happy person. If there's anything in your life that causes you unhappiness, resolve to solve the problem. 2, if there's anything from your past that causes you pain and is unresolved, reinterpret it positively and choose to view it as a valuable learning experience. 3, accept responsibility for past or present events that bother you and get on with your life. 4, forgive whoever caused you pain in the past. 5, don't take things personally anymore. Choose to rise above disrespect or unkindness and go about your business. 6, forgive everyone toward whom you still feel negative emotion. And 7, forgive yourself for any mistake you've ever made and set yourself free. Brian Tracy also says that you should not leave anything to chance or luck. He says, if it's to be, it's up to me. Corny, but I like it. You will achieve financial success after you accept that everything that you will ever become is completely up to you. So you have to take responsibility for all of it, he says. No one will do it for you. self and others. He suggests that we act out the qualities that we most admire. So act the way you want to be as a person. To develop courage, act courageously in a situation, even if you're scared. And if you want to develop integrity, tell the truth even if you feel like hiding it. So basically, like, fake it until you make it. Your beliefs will mirror your acts, and your acts will then mirror your beliefs. Act and talk positively about the future. He says, get up in the morning and say to yourself, something great will happen today. Steer your thoughts to a destination of your choosing. Brian Tracy also says, keep growing and keep trying, never complain and never explain. Like, all really like words and advice to live by. Brian Tracy also says that you should find what you like to do and then find a way to make money doing it. There are no limits except the limits you allow the outside world to place on you and your thinking. Brian Tracy says that your most valuable asset is your time. So choose who you surround yourself with carefully. Problems are a normal and necessary part of life. They are inevitable and unavoidable. Your response to the problems is the only thing you actually have control over. He says that success is the ability to solve problems, not run away from it, not get angry at them, but actually the ability to solve them. You can completely reprogram your subconscious mind with positive affirmations. So whatever you repeat to yourself over and over again in your conscious mind will eventually be accepted by your subconscious mind. It just becomes a belief after that point and part of who you are. So I like myself is his favorite affirmation. Brian Tracy says that your mind can only hold one thought at a time, whether it's positive or negative. I mentioned this earlier, so he says just make it a good one. But essentially, you cannot be depressed and grateful at the same time. And just try that. Like, if you feel down, think of one thing you're grateful for, whether it's your health, your family, your dog, your job, the sun, anything. And even just for those 2-3 seconds, you will not feel depressed. It might not last, and you might have to keep thinking about what makes you grateful to kind of get you out of that depressed state. But it's just not possible to hold two thoughts at the same time, two different thoughts at the same time. And it's not possible to be depressed and grateful at the same time. He says that also peace of mind has to be your highest goal. And the bigger your goals, the more times you will trip and fall. But as long as you have clear goals, you will keep failing and falling in a forward direction. You will keep moving toward your goal. So these are the highlights from this book if you choose to read it. Otherwise, I think you've got the main points, the important points from my review. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything today that you've heard that you've liked, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for listening, and until next time.